Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This video is all about the myths about monogamy that are ruining our relationships. And not just long-term monogamous relationships, but our dating experiences and people who maybe want to have a monogamous relationship, our expectations. It's just ruining it all, really. I think I first started encountering these ideas from Esther Perel's TED Talks, and also just from the more I learn about polyamory. I'm just like, monogamous people could learn a thing or two about how you value and do relationships. In our society, monogamy is seen as aspirational. It's put on a pedestal as the thing that we should all strive for. And it's also just completely normalized and assumed, and we never question it. We're just told from a really young age that a monogamous relationship structure is the thing that we will all have eventually, and it's also the thing that we will all want to have. But for a lot of people, our cultural interpretations of monogamy are too rigid, right? And the truth is, a lot of people cheat. A lot of people cheat. So if people are cheating, is that relationship monogamous? They thought it was. And the reality is, monogamy isn't for everyone, so why are we pretending that it is? And this is not going to be a video about polyamory. It's not a video saying we should all be polyamorous, but it is going to be a video about how monogamy and relationships are customizable. We don't have to take this blueprint that society gives us of like cis, heteronormative, monogamous, sexual and romantic relationship and just go, oh, that fits. Because for most people, even if you are cis and heterosexual and in a monogamous relationship like myself, even I'm like, hey, these things don't even fit me. So how can we even expect them to fit people who don't fit into the cis hetero relationship structures? It doesn't serve any of us. So yes, I am in a monogamous relationship with a man. I am married, and a lot of these myths about monogamy are things that I have absorbed over the years and are things that in our relationship we talk about, we are open about, we acknowledge that these are messages that we've received, and we're by no means perfect. It's definitely like a process of unlearning lots of things and actually going, hey, what kind of relationship will suit us best as individuals? Not as like, oh, well, this is how a monogamous relationship is supposed to go, so I guess we'll just do that. So these myths come from toxic monogamy culture, which I believe was a term coined by Hilary Berry. The Medium article that has been cited a few times for this doesn't exist anymore, so I don't know, but that is what I believe. But there's lots of other people talking about this online. I think I was first introduced to the term toxic monogamy culture from a Tumblr post. So, you know, it's disseminated throughout the internet. But basically, toxic monogamy culture is defined as monogamy as a cultural institution that has been interpreted and practiced in unhealthy ways. And it's so pervasive that it can even impact polyamorous relationships who arguably maybe have more understanding about these kinds of things, but it still seeps in. Even though what I believe was the original article on toxic monogamy culture is no longer available, I found this really great one on the website of Olgo, I think that's how it's pronounced, who are a charitable organization working with queer people of color in Texas. So thank you to them for sharing the ideas from that original post on their website, and I've never heard of them before until I found that article, and it looks like they do amazing work in Texas with queer people of color in different communities, so definitely check them out, and I will be donating to them as well, so have a look. And if you're in Texas and you're a queer person of color, have a look. So these are 6 myths about monogamy that are ruining our relationships. The first is that if you truly love somebody, you will never be attracted to anyone else. I bought into this so hard. Being attracted to somebody else who isn't your partner does not devalue your love for them. And there's also lots of different types of attraction: romantic, sexual, sensual, aesthetic. You might find yourself being attracted to friends, colleagues, complete strangers who you pass on the street, or celebrities, like people that you see on TV, fictional characters. And this is something that took me a really long time to realize, and I still feel like it's a bit more complicated, but these feelings are ultimately not in our control. Like if we develop a crush for someone or if we're attracted to somebody, oftentimes it just happens and we're like, oh, And I think it's really important when you're in a relationship to acknowledge that you can have feelings of attraction to other people, but you're not necessarily in control of those feelings, so why should we be blamed for them? I think we're in control of playing to those feelings and obviously doing something about those feelings, but I don't believe the feelings themselves are in our control. I would love to hear what you think about that. So I had this pattern in my teenage years and my early 20s where I would only fancy one person at a time. And if I developed a new crush, those feelings would replace my old crush feelings, and suddenly it was all about this new person. That definitely did mean that when I was younger, I was very fickle and was just like bouncing from crush to crush to crush. But in my current relationship, I've been able to have crushes towards other people and it not impact my feelings towards my partner. And granted, these crushes tend to be like pretty low stakes. Like I have no interest in actually doing anything about it. I'm just like, ooh, they're nice. And I kind of get like fluttery feelings around them. And I'm like, ooh, hello. But honestly, the first time that happened to me, because I was so used to developing feelings and then those feelings immediately replacing whoever my attraction was directed towards before, I like developed a crush on somebody and I still fancied my partner and I was like, what is happening? I'm so confused. I don't understand because this has never happened to me before. Like I honestly full on panicked. I'm really lucky that I'm in a relationship where we can talk about it, but that first conversation was so hard. I also didn't know if I wanted to tell him. I was like, should I tell my partner that I have this crush on this other person? And I ended up doing it because it was like eating me up alive. Like I felt horrible. And so it was really difficult as navigating this new territory. But now in our relationship, because we had that really difficult first conversation, it's just this ongoing, lighthearted thing where we don't blame each other for developing feelings for each other. If anything, it's like a fun thing to discuss together. And it feels really good. Not like how it felt that first time where I was just like, oh my God, I'm a terrible person. And of course, with that reassurance of our feelings for each other. The second myth is that the relationship always comes first. This comes down to the fact that as a society and as individuals, a lot of the time we have a hierarchy of relationship importance. But if your romantic relationship automatically comes first all of the time, it devalues the commitments that you make with other people in your life and devalues the promises that you make to them. It's really important to respect your partner's other commitments. For instance, if a really important work event for them came up, but it was on your anniversary, a lot of people might find that absolutely no, like our anniversary comes first. But not necessarily. But toxic monogamy culture makes us think that our relationship comes first and foremost over everything, over any other commitments and promises that we make to other people. Obviously, if something really tragic happens and your partner ends up in the hospital, cancel all your plans, cancel. But it comes down to the context and honoring the commitments that you make to other people outside of the relationship. Myth number 3 is that your romantic partner has to fulfill every single emotional, social, and physical need that you have. This is one that I definitely learned from Esther Perel. I was like, oh yeah, why do we expect our monogamous romantic partners to be everything to us? Dan is terrible at massages, but you know what? That's fine. Well, it's not fine this year because no one else has been allowed to touch me. But in a normal year, my friends, my mother is great at massages, and also I can pay a professional for a massage. Dan doesn't have to fulfill that need to me. I mean, it would be great if he did, but I'm not going to hold it against him. We have so many different needs, and expecting one person to fulfill them all for us is just a recipe for disaster. And it's also a really double-edged sword. If your partner doesn't meet your needs, then we view them as inadequate. Or if you're the partner with lots of needs, then you're needy. And no one is winning in that situation. I would definitely recommend checking out the Relationship Anarchy Smorgasbord. Dan and I did a special Patreon podcast episode going through all of the different things on that board and kind of discussing if that's something that we want in our relationship and to what extent, like, is that exclusive to us as well? So it's really important to have these conversations with people, especially like in a long-term partnership. Do you need them to be your best friend? Do they need to be the best housemate, best co-parent, best financial partner, best travel partner, best conversationalist, best sexual partner, and then what areas of your life are exclusive, being emotionally vulnerable with each other. Is that something that you only do together? Or, you can be emotionally vulnerable with other people too. Sex, is that something that is only exclusive to the two of you? Or is that something that you can do with other people? Porn, masturbation, these are all things, especially in like toxic monogamy culture, very much is like, well, once you're in a relationship, you don't need to masturbate, or if you're in a relationship, you shouldn't be watching porn. That is toxic monogamy culture. Lockdown this year has been especially eye-opening for me and Dan because it kind of highlighted a lot of our needs more, and because we were the only people who we could really spend a lot of time with this year, it was actually as if that person had to provide for all of our needs, and we found ourselves butting heads a lot. Normally, a lot of my needs that I get fulfilled outside of our relationship, like shared hobbies, different topics of conversation, doing like activities like going to the theatre or like going to parties and like socializing with people, those are all things that I often do outside of our relationship and are things that I need as an extrovert who likes to go out and do things. And Dan, he has a lot of needs where he needs to be left alone, and I'm just like in the house the whole time being like, entertain me, and he's just like, leave me the fuck alone. So we really had to sit down and just be like, we're bickering a lot, like our needs aren't being met, how can we actually balance this out? And so we had to make exceptions to how we would normally do it, where we're like, okay, I'm going to fulfill this need for you that I wouldn't normally fill for you, but we're in exceptional circumstances. So it definitely highlighted a lot of stuff for us. Myth number 4 is that love conquers all. Oh, how romantic. But the thing is that practical compatibility, no matter how unromantic that sounds, is so important. This could be things like your lifestyle, where you want to live, do you want to get married, have kids, what kind of job that you have, what are your religious beliefs, what are your politics, what are your career and life plans, just timing. Where do you live? Is it long distance? The love may be real, but if practical compatibilities do not align, it might be really difficult to sustain a healthy and nourishing and satisfying relationship. And if you're having issues in a relationship, it is not the case that, well, as long as we love each other, we can make anything work. Not necessarily. There might just be some things that love cannot solve. And on the flip side, practical compatibility might be a reason for a relationship working really well, and there is nothing wrong with that. Myth number 5 is that jealousy and possessiveness are an indicator of love. Now this one pisses me off. Here's the thing. Jealousy is a natural human emotion, and I'm not here to shame those feelings. What we need, though, is more emotional literacy around jealousy so that we're able to actually pinpoint what is causing those feelings and be able to describe and communicate that with our partner. I would highly recommend checking out Meg, John, and Justin's podcast episode on jealousy. They go real deep into what happened. What are you feeling? Is it sadness, anger, anxiety? Like, where is the jealousy stemming from? Jealousy is kind of like this umbrella thing, but finding out its root cause will actually help to navigate whatever situation brought up those feelings. And oh boy, do we love to romanticize jealous, possessive, and controlling behavior that's actually really harmful. The way that we see a lot of these behaviors depicted in the media and romanticized means that we're actually unable to recognize them as potential red flags. We just think, oh, they really care about me and this is just their way of expressing their love, when actually things like demanding to know where you are and who you're with all of the time, creating rules and restrictions around your own behavior, checking your phone without your consent, sneaking into your bedroom and watching you whilst you sleep. That is not loving behavior. And myth number 6 is that affection and love are in limited supply. Toxic monogamy culture would have us believe that love and affection is a zero-sum game, where if one person is winning, that means another person must be losing. When in fact, there is enough love and affection to go around for all of us, for everyone. It is not limited, it is in abundance. We have the ability to show affection and love to many, many people. Polyamorous people know this very well, but when we're talking about monogamous context, this also means our family relationships, our friendships, like other people, and the affection and love that we show to other people outside of our relationship does not threaten the relationship. The love is in abundance. You are not losing out if your partner shows affection to a friend. And I think it's also really interesting to note that pickup artists very much function within this idea that it is a zero-sum game. Like, well, if I'm sleeping with her, then somebody else isn't, and therefore I win, they lose. That doesn't really sound like a very healthy way to view relationships and other human beings. One of the biggest problems, I believe, is the value that we place on romantic relationships as a cultural institution in our society. So much of our society, our politics, just the way that our world is organized around couples. It's organized around two people units who then have their nuclear family. The value that we place on romantic relationships as a whole, but then also the value that we feel from a partner, can impact how we value ourselves. But it is so important to know that we can base how we value ourselves on all of our different loving relationships. And yes, that includes our relationship with ourselves, because that is absolutely a relationship that we all have. So while society makes us believe that our value is based off of somebody finding us romantically or sexually attractive, being in a monogamous romantic partnership, society makes us believe that that is what gives us value. It becomes the threshold for how we value ourselves, but we need to move it or just scrap it entirely. Thank you so much for watching. This is a topic that is near and dear to my heart as somebody who is personally navigating this in a relationship, but also as somebody who makes content about sex and relationships. And I just see so many of these awful, pervasive ideas that we just absorb from society. And so I really hope that then like the sex and relationships education that we're getting is like fighting against that. And I think that we assume that the messages that we're giving young people about monogamy and about romantic relationships are harmless, but they are not. They are far from it. I would love to hear your thoughts about all of this in the comments below. This is actually my last video of 2020, so we're taking a couple of weeks off, but I'll be back in the new year for some more sex and relationships content. And I hope you're well. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all of that stuff. And I'll see you then. Bye.